How is it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, each and every one of you. So glad you could be here. Today's video is we're going to be completely redoing the brake fluid in the 1993 Z28. You won't want to miss it, so stay tuned. Alright, like I said, we're going to completely flush the brake system in my 1993 Z28. Why are we doing it? Well, there's several reasons, and you should do this or have it done to your car. And every manufacturer recommends different times. Some are 3 years, some are 8 years, just depends. But the reason we're doing it is I have noticed that the brakes have gotten just a little bit spongy feeling. Now, with that said, the way they get spongy feeling is the brake fluid wears out over time. It gets moisture in it because brake fluid will actually attract moisture, and that's the reason we're doing it. Okay? And you could tell when it gets old by looking in your master cylinder at how dark looking it is. That's a sure way to tell right there. That stuff's old, it needs to be changed. I've done it one time before. My God, it had to be late 90s, early 2000s. So it's definitely time. But what you're going to do is, first off, you got to know what kind of brake fluid. And it'll say right on your cap. And unless you're doing racetrack events and stuff like that, there's no need to get anything any different than what that says. And that says .3, so that's what we're going to be using. Now, there are some things that you're going to need. You know, I'm doing it by myself. You may have somebody helping you or anything, but this is a one-man method, and I'm going to be using the Mightyvac vacuum pump system because, like I said, I'm out here by myself. It's an old system, and I want to make sure I get everything out of the system that I can. If you have somebody that can help you or is not busy at the time, you know, you do it the old-timey way. Have them pump the brakes, and you sit there and crack the bleeder open and just keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. Personally, I don't want to be pumping it all that much, and whoever's helping me, I don't want them doing it that much either, because then you got to holler, okay, wait on to pump it up, okay, letting them know, they let you know that it's ready. You crack the bleeder valve, it goes down, you shut it off, then you holler back at them, okay, pump it back up. You know, I'm not going through all that. I'm going to do this the simple, easy way, and I know it's going to be done right. But here's what you're going to need. You don't have to have the Mightyvac. That's just the way I'm doing it. Okay, you got to have some way of getting the old fluid out of the master cylinder to start with. A lot of people use turkey basters. I'm going to be using this large syringe that I picked up. I don't even know where I picked it up, but I used to use this for my photography water drop shots, but I don't do those anymore, so I'm going to use that. Above all, you got to have a jack to get the car up off the ground, because you're going to be taking the tires off. A jack stand. Even though you got the jack, there's seals and everything that can let go in that. You got to have something to help ensure you're not going to get hurt. The .3 brake fluid, .3, and in this case I'm using Lucas. I've never tried that brake fluid, so I wanted to give it a try. A rag for any spills or dirty hands. Brake cleaner to clean brake parts if it needs to be cleaned. The appropriate size wrench, and I don't know what size it is yet, so I got a couple standard and a couple metric. Wheel chocks to make sure that your car doesn't roll on you. A large screwdriver to get the hub centers off the car. And the appropriate size socket, which in this case is a 19. I'll get it out of the car in just a minute. I brought it home from work. And a torque wrench, so when you put it back, when you put your lug nuts back on, you can make sure to get it the right torque specifications. In this case, mine will be 96 pounds, but I always go 100. Let's get the ratchet out of the car. Like I said, this is something that you should do or have done every so many years. Check your manufacturer's recommendations, and if it'll be in your owner's manual. It's in the car. If you don't have your owner's manual, look it up online. As you can see, got a 1/2 inch drive socket, which is a 19, which is the size of my sockets. and I got a long 1/2-inch ratchet. So with that said, let's get to it. And something else you're going to need, some sort of catch can. That's just the one I use for oil changes and stuff like that. But you need some type of catch can, because you will be cracking open your bleeder valves, and if it gets on the ground or anything, you know, you don't want it on the ground where you're going to be walking, working and stuff like that, and your car's going to be sitting and everything. You want it to be as clean as you can keep it. So you're going to need some sort of catch can. Now let's get the wheels chalked, the emergency brake on, and get the tire jacked up. Now the way I do it, I normally break my lugs loose before I jack it up. That way I won't be trying to spin the wheels as I'm breaking the lug nuts loose. So I break mine loose before I jack it up, and then I just loosen them up and take them off. So let's get to this. It's not a hard job, very easy as a matter of fact. The hardest part is getting the car up off the ground. Now you may be asking, why am I starting at the back corner? And the reason for that is you always want to start at the furthest point. That way any fluid that's in there gets to here first, then you move to the other side on the back side, then you do the passenger side front, and then the master cylinder. You always want to start at the furthest point first and then work your way forward. Now once you get your wheels off, don't just come, bleed your brakes and walk away. Visually inspect everything. Like during this time, I'm also doing my once-a-year cleaning of the wheel wells and the back of the rims, if you will, because you know they get dirt and dust and stuff built on them in time. But also visually inspect your rotors. As you can see, these have a few grooves in them. They're not deep, but they do need to be turned. But I'm going to be replacing these before long anyway with some drilled and slotted ones, so I'm not really worried about it. But also inspect your brake pads. I probably got 40% left. Probably 40% left on there. And you know, just inspect everything. Inspect your springs, all your bushings. Make sure your shock isn't leaking or anything. Look at your tie rod ends. My tie rod ends look good and everything. But just visually inspect everything. The brake lines, see if they look like they're worn. If they're leaking or anything, see if your calipers are leaking or anything. And if not, then go on to the next step. But if they are, by all means, make a note of it. That way you can get the parts and come back and fix it later. Okay? So let's get this going. I'm gonna take this up to the house and clean it real good, and I'll be right back, and then we'll start on the brakes. Okay, once you get ready to go, take your cap off. And we need to get all the fluid out of this we can without trying to disturb any of the dirt and stuff. I'm just gonna put my cup right there. See how dark and dirty that is? That is bad brake fluid. Look at that. And you know, on some of today's modern cars, like my red SS over there, it actually uses the brake reservoir for your clutch too. So with that, why would you want to not change this out regularly? and just work your way around the whole master cylinder until you feel you've gotten out all you can. You're not going to get out 100%. It's impossible. But we can get out as much as we can. And if you spill any or get any somewhere, just wipe it right off. I don't know how good it's going to show up, but look at how black and yucky that is. You know that can't be good for the system. Alright, now that we got that, what we want to do is fill the reservoir back up with brand new brake fluid. And what we're going to do is we're going to fill it all the way up to the top. And I'll tell you why in just a second. Alright, so that is completely full. The reason I filled it all the way up is because we're going to be sucking this in. I don't want to just fill it to a full mark and then have to get up and down every 5 seconds. So we want to take that up as full as we can, and then we want to get the cap and just lay it on here. We don't want to put it on per se because that'll seal it. We just want to lay it on there, keep any dirt or anything from falling out, leaves or whatnot as the wind blows. But you got to have air behind any liquid to get it to go right. So we had to keep a look on this. You know, we'll crack the valve open a couple times, come back up, refill it, do it a couple more times, back, refill it. And we'll keep doing that until we get brand new fluid coming out down there. Then you're going to take the hose, and this one's got a kink in it, so I hope that doesn't create a problem. Put the clear hose on one side and your other section of clear hose on the other side. And it doesn't have to be that long. If you want to trim it, you can. No big deal. And you're going to take your vacuum pump, press it all the way on, bar fitting. And now you're set up and ready to go. I'm going to see which one of these fit. That one. Okay. Then all you're going to do is whichever one you decide you're going to use, which is I got the smaller one, take your clear tubing and push up on the inside of it. Go push it up in there, and that's what you're going to have. Okay? Now, I may end up cutting this off because it keeps kinking. I don't know, we'll see. Let me get your camera oriented a little different. I'll show you what's going on. Alright, I don't know how much of this you can see, but this is where it's going to go. It's going to go right over the nipple like that, and it locks on. It creates a vacuum tight seal to where it won't them air bubbles get in it, okay? That's all there is to that. So here we go. I'm going to take that back off for just a second, and I am going to actually crack this open. And it'll probably be hard the first time. There we go. You just want it loose, okay? Stick your fitting on it. Get your catch can and put it under it, just in case. Right? And what you're going to do is on here you want to put 15 to 20 pounds of vacuum, okay? Now all you do to get that is make sure this is not pressed. This is your release valve, okay? All you do is just squeeze the handle and you watch the gauge go up. Make sure you have a good seal. This is good and tight, otherwise it won't create a vacuum. Get your wrench, and as you can see, I'm up to 20 pounds. Okay, I'm up to 20 pounds. Now all you're going to do is open the valve. And you can see it starts sucking the brake fluid out because you have a vacuum on it. And then you just keep a watch on the vacuum gauge, and when it gets down to around 5 or 10, put more vacuum on it. And you can see it's sucking out the fluid. Starting to put some in there. That's how much it's sucked out already. And all we're doing is watching for the color change. Watch that and watch the reservoir so you can make sure that you stop it in time. You don't want to overfill it. And I'd recommend after one reservoir full of this, you go back and fill up your master cylinder. Pressure goes down, pump it back up. Hit the release valve. Shut the bleeder. Because see, now I got to empty this. Alright, so now you know why we need the rack. I've got it emptied, as you can see. I then went and refilled the reservoir. I'm going to create a vacuum again. Alright. Get it up to 15 or 20 or 25. There's 20. Crack it open again. Now you can already see new clean fluid coming out. And when you buy your brake fluid, don't buy the small cans because that just will not be enough. Buy the large can because it will take it, I guarantee you. But you can already tell the difference in the color of that fluid. And as you can see, I had a few air bubbles in it too. Shut it off again because we're full. And as you can see, there's a difference in color from there to there. So, and you can see in the line how clear that is. So you know you've got brand new brake fluid in it now. So we can go ahead and do what else we're going to do under here. Put the tire back on, go to the other side. Alright, once you get all that done, you want to make sure you got that snug. Just snug. You don't want to over tighten it because you can actually crush that because it's a hollow stem. Take off your fitting. Take your rag or your brake cleaner, either or. Wipe off the excess and put your dust cap back on. And you are now done with this side. I'm not going to make you watch me do the other side because it'll be the same exact as this, just backwards. Or not backwards, but on the other side. I'm going to go ahead and clean this in here and hit it with some undercarriage spray. I'm not going to make you watch me do that because that's not what this video is about. And then when I get ready to do the front, I'll bring you back. $100 plus the 0 is 100 pounds. always cross tighten them. I tighten that one so now I can do that one or that one. I'm going to go there, 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 and there. Okay, here we are at the front of the car. I already got the back ones done. Now we're going to start on the front ones. As you can see, they look a little different. Rather than being on the back side, they're on the top. So that's all we got to do is crack that one open like we did the other ones. It's getting close to being finished. Here comes the dirty fluid. And you guys thought I was just going to dump this out in the woods somewhere, didn't you? No, you never ever do that. That is not environmentally friendly. That would not make us good stewards of the world that we inhabited. But as you can see from the video, guys, you know, it's not very hard. It's not very time consuming. I would devote 2 hours to it, and 45 minutes of that is getting everything where you need it to be able to do the job. Excuse me. I'm going to sit here and finish doing this, and then I'm going to put everything up and take the car for a ride, and I'm sure she'll have a different feel to it, more firm and not as spongy, stop better, and that's what we will set out to do. And as you can see, this is all watery anyway. Look at that. No oily feeling to it at all. It's just all real thin and watery. But don't be intimidated by it. If I could do it, you could do it. So, you know, this is how you do it with one person. The Mightyvac cost $35. I'm sure you can find them cheaper, even on Amazon. And buy one large thing of this, maybe two, just in case. But it's definitely going to take one large. And get out there and try it yourself. You can't screw anything up. If you break one of the fittings, one of the bleeder screws, just take it with you. Go to your Advanced Auto, wherever you buy your parts, AutoZone, who cares. Even Walmart sells them. Buy you a new one, put it in, it's no big deal. Just so you don't break it off in the caliper. And get out and do it yourself, that's what it's fun. I enjoyed doing this today. It's something that's been needing to be done for a while now, and I've just been putting it off and putting it off. And I got it done. Finally felt like it. So I'm going to continue sitting here doing this until I get it done. You guys get out there and enjoy your car, because that's what it's made for. That's why you're buying it. And we'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much for stopping by.